Hi everyone, it's Diana with Homeschoolific, and today I'm going to give you 5 wonderful ways to save money this school year in homeschooling. Alright, so if you don't know me, if we haven't met, I'm Diana with Homeschoolific. I'm one of the 2 of us. You can catch LaVonda. Often we do videos separate, but occasionally he'll catch us together. We've had a lot of life changes lately, keep on going, and so we're getting videos out as fast as we can, as often as we can, but just hang in there with us. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Things I will say is if you're looking to homeschool and this is your first time, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you that I do recommend that you either get a box curriculum or try to get into something that would allow you to guide you. It can be daunting unless you have a brain that allows you to do this. Then, you know, some people do, or you have an education background, which homeschooling is quite different in a lot of ways, but still, you know how to bring resources together. That means you'll probably be just fine. So if you're looking for a box curriculum or a curriculum that's already put together for you, you won't have to do much but maybe purchase the things. I'll tell you a few that I think are very cost effective or free. As most of you know, there's Khan Academy, if you haven't heard of Khan Academy. And let me point out, these resources that I'm telling you about, they are in our description box below, 75 resources for every homeschooler. So check that link out, and all these links are in there. So go get that one. It's easy, it's free to you. Download it, okay? So Khan Academy is free. It has a homeschool section, and you can pretty much, you could get away with it. You would need to add to it. I think I don't know anyone that uses Khan Academy exclusively, so keep that in mind. Ambleside Online, if you like the Charlotte Mason program, that will actually guide you all the way through. You need math, however, so you'll need math still, unless they've included that. But they have it all set up. It's free. It's all there. It tells you every book you need. It tells you, it's a whole syllabus. It really is. It's very well put together, and it's just because you're passionate. Easy Peasy Homeschooling is another one. And there's a whole lot more, but you can find a free one. The other thing is you can go through your state and you can do what's called virtual schooling. It's not the same as homeschooling. I'm going to just point that out there. Homeschooling is a bit different. But it will allow you to educate your children for pretty much free. And for us, our first year, that was what we needed, and that's what we did. And it did work. So we didn't go back, but it did work. So that is an option as well. And there's no judgment there. I'm just saying, like, for different folks, you know, so different strokes, different folks. My second tip is to actually know, especially if this is your second year or beyond, okay? Know what you want to do. Make a plan. Do not go in this without a plan. I think this is the case even if you're going to get a box curriculum, because just because you get a box curriculum doesn't mean you're going to love the whole thing sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you do love the whole thing, but maybe you need to add to it, you know? We have been long-term users in and out of Abeka, but it is not always for me to use the whole thing, or maybe I'll do other electives. Maybe I don't like the electives they're offering. So, and we're almost always a part of a co-op. So I'll do the electives there. I'm gonna save money if I know ahead of time what I need to use. So it's really important to make a plan so you're not overbuying or underbuying. Or if you can find resources that are free that you can use and does the same job, then you can do that. And I'm gonna put a little side note here. Saving money often costs you more time. So just be okay with that. Make your peace about that. There's very few times, and I can think of some things that you can do that it won't cost you more time. It's just part of it. So you can pay money for the convenience and have everything done, or you can save money, but it's gonna cost you time. So that is something you need to be okay with. But if you have the time and you've made the plan, then you're gonna be able to get ahead and get these resources together. So, okay, so if you're looking for a box curriculum, my first suggestion is to use one of these free sites or low cost sites. Use our 75 free resources to find yourself what one you want. And we actually broke it up for you. It was a lot of work to do that, but go ahead and check that out. Number 3, once you have your plan, have a budget. And I know it probably seems like you should have your budget first, but the reason why I want you to do your plan before your budget is because I don't want you making decisions the wrong way. And what I mean is, sometimes we'll look at things and we'll say, oh, well, my budget only allows me this, so I'm going to go with that. No, make your dream plan, then your budget. And then if you need to scale back on electives or things like that, or places where you don't mind spending more time at, but you will not. I'm gonna say it this way. Let's say, for example, you're excellent at math and you're okay with spending more time teaching math. So you can get a baseline core, just a book to give instructions. You're gonna pull stuff from the home and everything like that. This is your thing, you're good. But science, not so much. So you're gonna be okay with spending more on science because you don't wanna spend the time on science. Does that make sense? So make your ideal plan and then go into the little fine areas of where you need to pull back or you can do yourself. And I found that if I plan, budget, this is gonna go really, really, really well for me. My next tip, so that'll be tip number 4, buy used. Don't be afraid of the used. I mean, don't be snobs. You guys have heard me say this before. Buying used does come with some risk, and it's not always the most ideal, but it typically is minimal risk and you save more than 50% of what you would have. And that's not always, but even if it's 20%, save the 20%. You know what I'm saying? One key of caution here, or note of caution, do make sure that you're not spending, like eBay, I have found so many times that where I would be spending more money because of shipping, because the company I would buy it from would offer free shipping. So therefore I would be spending more money. This is particularly something I've noticed with Abeka items. Abeka items can be very tricky buying used because they're not very expensive unless you're getting like the teacher books. The teacher books are priced pretty high. And almost always you'll do better used. But the student books, most of the time it's almost worth my while, unless it's an outdated book that I'm gonna get for $2-3. Most of the time it's just worth my while to just get it from Abeka and keep it moving. So just watch that. That's the only thing. But other than that, like, you know, a lot of us like Sunlight. And while I am all about, if you can afford it, going directly to that company, you are supporting jobs, you are supporting small businesses, and we, you know, everybody needs it right now. But if your finances can't, and you need, you know, you need these items, then buy them used, because you still are helping another mama afford her next year's curriculum. So I sell used every year. It helps me to buy curriculum for the next school year. It's really cool. So buy used if you need to buy used. Just make sure you are asking the right questions. Oh, Diana, what are the right questions? Well, one of the right questions is like, is there a smoker in the home? If you're allergic to animals, like if it's a high, you know, like a really big deal, you know, where there are animals in the home, you want to make sure, like, ask questions like, are all the pieces there? Are any tears in the books? A lot of times they will provide you with this information, what condition the book is in, but if they haven't, you want to ask those kind of questions. Also, what's the cost of shipping? Because if they're going to charge you $14, $25 for shipping, you might do better buying it elsewhere or buying it brand new, where they might ship it to you for free if you have so much order. Christianbooks.com, if you check there for it, because they sell, ironically, a lot of homeschool curriculum. They often will ship for free, as well as Rainbow Resources. If you buy so much, they will ship for free as well. So those are places you can look, but make sure you're asking the right questions when you're shopping used. And if you can shop from somebody that you know, that's also a benefit. Also, subscriptions. If you haven't watched already, we did a review on teaching textbooks, and that is a program that you can use, and it's very, very cost effective because it's now subscription. So subscriptions are also a way to go, and that would also save you a lot of money. And so I guess that's kind of a bonus to my number 5. Number 5, work with what you have. You may already have a robust library of books that you have not been paying attention to. They're just been there because they're pretty. For example, I had some great literature books for my kids before that I didn't even know were in there. I don't know how I got them. I don't know where they came from. We love books and we collect books, and I don't know. Like some of the books that I have, I ended up with 2 copies. Like maybe I ordered a Sunlight kit, and then I ended up having 2 copies. And I don't know when I got books like The Giver, but I did already have a copy of it. I got the book 1964, and I was like, I don't remember buying that. But we've collected books for so many years. So make sure that you don't already own books that would be great literary readers for your children. Also to borrow library, you know what I'm saying? Use that resource. You might have been schooling older kids and totally forgot that you stashed math books in the garage. And you're like, oh my gosh, I've got math books. And they worked for you before. And while it may not be everything you want, it still works. So it's math. Still the same thing, you know what I mean? So use those. Borrow, trade from a friend, things like that would work too. But try to use the resources you have at home as well. Also, when it comes to manipulatives, a lot of times we want to buy the fancy stuff. I am guilty for that. But if a girl got to use some cut up straws, I'm gonna use some cut up straws. If I got to use some M&Ms or some spaghetti, whatever it takes, that's what I'm going to use. You don't have to use all of these things. If I have to make my own flashcards, I'll buy a pack of index cards for 56 cents, probably $1 with inflation, but I can afford $1. And I can make my own cards. I can even print them out and cut them out if I want to on cardstock. Again, it'll take you more time, but you can do these things. You can often find these things used as well. Just because a company has made it all easy and pretty for you doesn't mean you can't replicate these things at home for the cost of a pack of paper and markers. So keep that in mind. Also, a couple things that will help you to keep your homeschool free to very cheap is making sure you have a printer and things like that. And then my bonus would be to just pray and just ask for the things that need to come to you. I had a homeschool mom that I met, and I was like, I've known her for years. She's an amazing lady. And very well educated children. I'm going to say this too, because it's going to sound, the story is going to sound a little weird. And I remember asking her, I said, what do you use for homeschooling for your kids? She said, well, finances are often tight for us. So I use whatever God provides every year. And I use our co-op because our co-op helps save us money. And I was like, so you homeschool on faith? Whew. That's something I hadn't even thought of, I thought that was so cool. And her kids went off to college. They've done a really good job. No problems at all. She made work whatever she got her hands on to. And what people gave her and what she found very cost effective, that's what she made work. So that was pretty cool. And all her kids are grown. So I always like looking at older or, mamas that are ahead of mine a little bit and just kind of seeing what they're doing. And that really helps. But yeah, those kind of things, man, guys, that will save you a ton of money. And then, I made a video and I talked about this before, and I'm going to give you a bonus tip. And please hear me out on this. We all are dealing with financial issues right now. Even if you're not struggling financial, you feel what's happening in the world. Please do not let your child's education be the first place you cut. Cut all other places before you cut there. There's so many other areas we can cut. We can cut subscriptions to magazines. We can, online subscriptions. We can cut, cut back on buying foods or something like that. I'm not saying unhealthy foods, that's different. But if you need caviar, you better cut that caviar before you go cut your kids' education. I'm being facetious. There's all sorts of places that we can possibly cut before. We can turn off the lights more and pay less money to the electric company. We can make sure that we are, cooking at home more and pay less money to the fast food places. So before you cut your kids' education, please make sure that you need to. All right. So I hope this video was helpful. And you guys, if you have tips on homeschooling for cheap or for free, or just saving yourself some money, put those suggestions in the comment section below. If you'd like to talk to us about homeschooling, that's also down below. Thank you. See you next time.